Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, rather. My name is Dirar Ayush, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Haulbox. Now, as we all know, moving and storage is a very agonizing process. In fact, for most, it ranks the third most stressful event in life after death and divorce. Often involves heavy lifting, rental vans, time of work, and just all in all, unpleasant time spent at a storage unit. And for an industry as big as the self-storage industry, it has seen zero innovation in the last 50 years. That presents an opportunity. And this opportunity, Haulbox is very set to take advantage of. Now, through our web and mobile solutions, Haulbox clients can enjoy the convenience of storing their own items without ever leaving their doorstep. It's like having an infinite closet, but for your physical items. So it's kind of like having a Dropbox for your physical items, technically. I'm going to go right ahead to it and demonstrate our iOS app here. You go in, you sign into your account, you request, excuse me?
Are you going into your presentation?
Yes, I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay.
That's fine, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright. Just let me know
We
when
just have to give you 20 minutes for your presentation.
Oh, okay. That's... Okay. So here we're starting with the iOS app. You can go ahead and create an account. You request however many boxes you think you need. There's an internal calculator here that tells you how much the price would be. After that, you go ahead and you list whatever your home or your dorm or office address. You put in a time and date that suits you best, and you click next. If you're a first-time client, you put your payment information, and after that it's saved on our system. Now, next to the very neat feature which is called document content here, so once you actually get the physical boxes dropped off at your place, you can add a box, and then you can go and scan the physical box into your digital closet. After that, you go ahead and you give that one specific box a title, and after that you're going to see right here that you can also take pictures throughout the app of the things you put inside each specific box. So here we see I have the hard thing about hard things, one of my favorite books. Also, taking pictures of kind of the items while you're packing using other Android programming book. And apart from that, also you can type in the description of the different items. You can use either or. That way, kind of a few months later, once you want that one item back from storage, you'll have it all in your digital closet, and then you can kind of go through and see which items you want back and which items you want to keep in storage. And then it's demonstrated right here when we go to the closet. It's Halloween time, so if you want to get your Halloween decorations, you can just go and check them and then call this one specific box back instead of having the whole thing. Now, we're not only making it easier for our clients, but we're also working on making it very easy and efficient for our employees as well. So we're working on an admin app that will going to be in an iPad in every Haulbox truck that has basically everything they need to be very efficient. The next, basically it's going to be the next appointment, the shortest route, their schedule for the day, and also a way for them to text our clientele. Our clientele are usually either college students or young professionals, and sometimes they'd rather be reached by text. So, how do we compare to normal self-storage? Well, let's see. Normal self-storage, they generates about $1.4 per square foot rented of climate-controlled space. That's kind of the industry average. We actually turned that around, and we make $17 per square foot. And that's of course because of what we call the power of stacking. We can use the space a lot more efficiently by putting boxes on top of each other, and kind of, since all our boxes are uniformed in size, we can also gain a lot of space that way. This is our pricing model. Those are the three things we offer for storage. The boxes they're dropped off for free and picked up for free. The price is $10 per box per month. That obviously includes tax, tip, insurance, and delivery. And we have small items that are below 25 pounds, and then large items below 35 pounds, $13 and $20. Few things here we're working on in what we call the Haulbox Lab. Few of them are self-explanatory, ship to school. Basically, students before they come in here, they want to have things already set up for them so they can ship to us and we can kind of place them in their dorms. Box shipping and box rentals. A marketplace where, let's say you have items in storage that you normally need, you can swipe and put them on our marketplace where other people can see them and bid for them. A box share here where, let's say, a friend of yours is going camping, you have your camping gear, you can put down his information and you can share your items with them. And a smart box that will contain GPS tracking, humidity, temperature control, and shock sensors for higher ticket items. So here, who pays for Haulbox? Well, starting with students, obviously we're in a college town, so students or parents actually from, you can imagine between the semesters, during the summer, people sometimes rather have us store their things instead of, calling your parents down from Miami to come here, to, haul all your things in a truck, they drive them all the way back, only to do that a few months later. Businesses that need to clutter, to declutter their offices, but still have the option to recall their things back at a convenient time, without having to send a staff member to go to a storage unit to look for things. And also residents who basically have, a bunch of things that they don't need at home, but they don't want to go through the inconvenience of going to a storage unit or something. So this is our customer profile. This is how our clientele looks like. The average student customer makes us about $230 per season, and I say per season because it's mostly during the summer seasons. We have the average resident customer. Obviously, those are they stay with us for a longer time. They make us anywhere from $900 to $1,200 per life cycle.
What's a life cycle?
A life cycle of basically how long they use us. It's usually with storage between 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months.
So let's talk a little bit about the industry. It's actually a very big industry. It's $24 billion just last year in revenues alone. And it's not just a big industry, it's actually growing. There's a study in 1995, 1 out of 17 households use self-storage. Now the number increased to 1 out of 10. And that's obviously a very big increase. Out of that, there's $2.3 billion of the student storage, and $7 billion is the overall on-demand storage. And just to note, the overall on-demand storage is actually the fastest growing segment of storage currently. So a little about our traction. This is how we started in April 2014 with 16 boxes in my co-founder's garage. We've gone through a lot of transformation since then. This is all last year, and this is how we look this season. We had 6,500 square feet warehouse full. Actually, we had to stop ordering and trying to increase capacity as much as we can after we pretty much had no space to put anything else in. So we've gone through 10x growth within this year alone. And now, up to the kind of the most exciting thing we're working on is how to take Haulbox from the leading on-demand storage service in a city like Gainesville and how to make it into the leading on-demand provider for the whole nation and possibly for the world. We've realized it's a big undertaking, so we need to line up our basically our partnerships in place. And we're actually working right now on a platform model that Haulbox will lay the foundation technology-wise for a service like ours to exist with the already existing network of moving and storage companies. There's about over 100,000 businesses around the US, literally in every state, in every city, you're going to find either a self-storage or moving and storage company that could use a service like us to reach more clients and to also improve their business. Now, kind of getting a little bit on the details of that, Haulbox will provide, let's say your location in Orlando, you have a moving and storage company and you'd like to increase your clients and you'd like to increase your service offering. We provide you with a full access to your own kind of admin dashboard, full access to the apps, and we'll be directing traffic towards you. We'll also be supplying you with box tracking software, warehouse management systems, and you'll have the boxes also provided for you, the marketing, lead generation, so on and so forth. So basically, we will power you to, we'll give you all the tools you need to execute successful location in your city. Now, we're also offering all that at zero cost for the provider, and that is in an attempt to make it a model where it grows much faster. If somebody comes to you and tells you, hey, I have a business that will synergize with yours, you can use your underused capacity, which is space and labor, and you have to pay no money for it. The only thing we're going to be also partners with you in revenue. So we're going to, and that will align our goals together. If you're not successful, if you're not making money, we're not making money. So we're both kind of on the same page here. And here, jumping on to our competitive advantage. Is there any other companies that are doing the same thing? Sure, there are a couple in New York City and California that are in the same space where they do on-demand storage. So kind of the first part of my presentation. Now, what differentiates us from these companies are the fact that they're actually very independent, and they're going with all they can against self-storage. And what that means is the growth that they could hit is going to be slowed down because they think about it. You need to invest in technology, marketing, operations, hiring and firing, warehousing space, fleet, purchasing, fleet maintenance. All these things that you can specialize in any of them because you have to do them all. And then expanding from city to city is you don't have the local knowledge, so that also slows you down. While us, we have a lower expansion cost because once we have the technology, it's basically off the shelf, right? That's one. Two, we're going in with local knowledge because we're going in with people that have been doing self-storage and have been doing moving for the last X years in their locations, and they're very comfortable in doing their job. And they also have the excess capacity, the excess labor. There's a study of every self-storage facility has about 35% of its units empty every month. So there's definitely excess capacity there. And obviously when we have a lot of locations, it's easier to gain economies of scale, meaning in the tech and purchasing of the actual boxes themselves. So we think our most competitive advantage is we can grow this thing much faster than any of the others would, and the others would only be able to get into the most urban cities because that's kind of what makes sense for them, while we can actually be in a lot of different places at once. So a little about our marketing plan. We have actually a kind of a unique approach of how to get to our students. We have a top-down approach, meaning for example, here in Gainesville, we can go ahead and target the students just like any other service vendor does, through advertisement, through paper, through all the traditional method. But we chose to go the other way, which is to partner with the university itself and to go to the influencers like the university housing. University housing, actually, we made a partnership, an exclusive partnership with them this season, and it turned out great. They did a lot of the heavy lifting that we were supposed to do, like the marketing. They're sending emails to all the parents. They're putting the Haulbox billboards in the dorms, and they're informing all the housing staff that this is the solution to go for all the students that have this problem, which a lot of them do because everybody needs to move out in summer. And we did such a great job with them that the other day in our meeting, they're like, hey, listen, wherever you need to go to other universities next, let us know, and we will make sure to put you in touch with the right person so you can establish a program like the one you did with UF. Now, we also, the second level of our clients are actually the self-storage owners and the moving and storage operators themselves. And we're reaching them also through a similar fashion, through an influencer, which is Store Local. Store Local is a co-op that includes hundreds of the operators of storage, and they all kind of go in the same pool under Store Local to stay updated and to get into, to stay ahead of the game. Now, Store Local showed, huge interest in having us integrate our Haulbox model with their members. So to help their members basically gain an extra revenue source. That obviously gives us a lot of legitimacy and brings us in from a point of authority. Jumping to the financials here, this is year one, there's going to be 2 more years. Obviously, I won't have time to get into all the details, but the key assumptions here, that pending funding, we estimate that we can add on a location as a partner location per month. Now, the location per month obviously includes the most notable expenses are the boxes themselves, software development, client support, legal, training, marketing, insurance, accounting, and sales. Here you see Haulbox's share of monthly revenues, so that's counted as 50% of the revenues generated, and it accumulates that way. Now, for year 2, this is a very important number. This is the $740,000. This is the highest negative number in our cumulative cash flow. That's basically the amount of money we need to raise, given that all these assumptions are in place to actually execute this model. By month 15, we'll be at net income positive, and month 23, we'll be at cumulative cash flow positive. And for year 3, given that the assumptions are correct, obviously it's more smooth sailing. Now, throughout the last year, we've gained a lot of friends. Most notably, I talked about the University of Florida, but we've also been working with different moving companies and apartment complexes to kind of get the word out there. Team behind this effort, myself, Gil Mudenda here, our COO, Luke McGurn, our CMO, and Alexander Vizu, our CTO. Thank you everybody for listening in. We'll be happy to take your questions.
I'll start with Noah this time.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. I had a couple of questions. Can you explain the kind of the revenue model? It was very hard for me to see the financials so small, but I guess I'm trying to understand how people pay you, how much it costs, how much each customer generates, and then on your new strategy, how is that going to work? Like, if you split the 50% revenue, how much are you really going to get? I mean, how does that correlate into actually net revenues to the company?
Right. Okay, great question. So for that, we have very long financial sheets that are. I can maybe just kind of walk you through it a little bit. So kind of an average customer of ours stores about 5 boxes and uses 1 or 2 non-box items. Non-box items being either a small or large item. So you can say $40 for boxes and another around $20 worth of non-box items. So that's around $60 a month. And that's picked up and delivered. Just to kind of put in perspective, I'm going to drift away just for a second. The cheapest storage unit you'll find is around $65. So you're right off the bat saving money while having somebody do the work for you. What really makes this model unique is kind of the long-term storage aspect of it. Now, when you do storage, it's month over month revenue, so it's kind of reoccurring revenue. So, once you land the client in, they usually stay anywhere from 3-4 months to 18 months. So you have that $60 that you got the first month is also paying another $60, another $60, and so forth. Now, kind of the cost of acquisition, or the cost of maybe a more relevant one, the cost of operations, it might be the first month of it might be around $60 all in all. The deliveries, the pickups, and stuff like this. The warehousing space is actually pretty cheap. For us, it's $2 to $3 maximum per client. So what we're paying for is mostly someone is the actual labor time of getting the stuff and storing them, which usually equates to give or take the first month rental of of kind of the subscription price. And then every other month you're making that money. Now for us, the 50% revenue split is because we're taking on pretty much 50% of the work, which is the technology, the marketing, and those things, while the operator is using their kind of unused capacity and putting some more labor and warehousing space. Now, for them, warehousing space is available. They might need to hire maybe a person or two extra from their staff to kind of accommodate a new service. But for them, it's also marginal increases in cost. While if we're doing it ourselves, we actually need to hire designated people to do Haulbox, right? And
So are you requiring that they charge the same prices that you charge, or are they just going to make up their own prices?
no, so all it will be under us. So it will all be under the Haulbox.com. Now the different pricing in different locations, we're actually going to work on that. So we're planning to deviate a little bit. If you're in Gainesville or if you're in Manhattan, there might be different costs. So we actually have the option where they can request their own pricing because they have the local knowledge. They know what this service is worth in their location, and we have that flexibility. So the reason I say that our new system now is actually a zip code system. So when the client goes to haulbox.com, they have to put in the zip code that they're in. Now that zip code, once they put it in, the website will tailor them towards the partner location that is doing Haulbox then. So, for example, the time slots, it might be different. Some of them might work weekends, some of them might not. The pricing might be a little different. But the client will never, won't know because he doesn't see, he only sees his location.
So you're going to build the back end and do all the customer support and all the updates on the software and all that without any charge to the user then?
Yes. So we actually have we have most of the back end. We just launched it last week.
And no upfront fee for using the system?
No upfront fee.
Okay. Are you, okay, anyway, I'll stop. You can come back to me later if there's time.
So this is like a consumer's version of Iron Mountain.
Correct. Yeah, you can.
So I have a lot of experience with Iron Mountain. They really piss me off. So,
Okay.
because we would get bills for like $20,000 a month for all the crap we had over there, and people were constantly sending stuff over there, constantly sending stuff back, and every time you request a box, you had to pay $1.50 a cubic foot to have it brought there, and $1.50 a cubic foot to have it brought back, and the storage fees, and so finally I just said, let's take our building, let's allocate a space, and we're going to call it our own storage person, we're going to hire a person who's going to store our records, and that's what we did.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's a consumer version of that. Now, your $10 per month price point on a box intuitively to me sounds high, and here's why. How big is that plastic container? Is that a standard moving container? Is that
It's 27 by 17 by 12, so it fits about 20 pairs of shoes. It's about this size.
Yeah, so it's about how many cubic feet?
2.5.
It's 2.5 cubic feet.
Yeah, 18 gallons.
So Iron Mountain would be about $1 a cubic foot to store per month. So they charge $2.50 a month to store the pounds. So just intuitively, I say it's a lot higher than storing it with a professional company that handles government documents and medical device companies, etc. Okay? But you pay no fee to go get it and come back. Now, how many times a month can I get my box?
So that's basically for the initial drop-off, for the initial pickup, and for the retrieval. So you get one retrieval with that price. Any other retrieval you want, let's say if you want to request it multiple times, it's $10 for the first box and then $2 for each additional box or item.
Okay, so I paid my $10 a month to store it, and then I also pay $10 a month if I need to get something out. So if I say
You have one time for free.
but
and
I
then
don't want it back. I want my book,
Mhm.
the really good book. She said,
Right.
so I want that really good book. So I call you up and I say, get me my really good book. And I
Mhm.
hang up. How much does it cost me to get my really good book?
Nothing, because that's going to be the first one. Now,
Yeah,
the
right.
second.
I already got a really good book a month.
Okay, then it will cost you $10 if you just want
Okay.
one box.
So if I have an item in the box, it's less than $10. So $10 to bring me the item and leave and go back.
Mhm.
So you're not gonna bring me the whole box. So
Mhm.
the item's less than $10 is not worth putting in the box. And even
Right.
if it's like $20 a day, still not gonna worth putting in the box because I might want a new version of it instead of the
That's
used
correct.
one that's in the box.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of thinking this $10 price point. So how well have you tested this $10?
That's self-storage.
So the
not to
sound-
interrupt you, but you look at what's in the average person's self-storage unit, they're paying $65 per month.
Yeah,
For the whole thing's probably worth $300.
yeah, with crap.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So what we found, the sample space is much smaller. We've had hundreds of clients, but the need has been different because it's always been when they leave for the summer, they
Right.
come back. It's usually they
Yeah,
retrieve
your
all the
need model
items.
is different than
Yeah.
what my need model.
Your
might
need
be
model.
to-
So
yeah,
with-
if I live in an apartment, I don't have enough space, I need to store stuff somewhere else.
Exactly.
But I don't want to drive to go get it all the time, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so we-
I'm leaving for 3 months.
Mhm.
It's
Uh,
perfect.
Mhm.
I'll get my stuff, put it in there for 3 months, bring it back.
Right. So what this is, it's a solution for people who don't have a lot of stuff that it's worth the effort to go put it in a unit, but they have stuff that they just don't need. So let's say you're in a city, it's summer, and you have your closet full of your jackets or
Right.
whatever. Your winter wardrobe. You can just put it in a box, and that's $10 per month. That clears up your closet, right? So it's kind of for apartments, for
Inner city seasonal uses, that's.
that.
Right,
Correct.
that was my question. I just
Mhm.
want to know if you really tested it. So it sounds like you have, you already have a 6,500 square foot space,
Mhm.
but you only have it in one location right now, here?
Yes, right.
So you haven't done the big city stuff yet?
We have not.
Okay, that's the plan.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
That's-
All right, that's my only question.
On your financials, you talked about some of the training and so, I guess I'm a little confused. Your plan was to try to, your next phase of the company is to try to expand it into additional cities. So is that marketing budget then that take into this cost for expanding, or is that just for local operations?
No, so for example, the training cost put in the financials. It'll be to train the company that we're partnering with how to, like, the SOPs of Haulbox, like the standards of operations. How to handle the boxes, how to handle the customers, and all that kind of stuff that entails how to handle our software. How to track the boxes, how to know where they're put at and stuff like this. And basically, we're budgeting for 2 people to go to the company for a week. To basically, run them through the process, kind of board them on our process. That's kind of the training. The marketing is actually budgeted for, the marketing budget we have there is basically an introductory. So let's say we board your location in, we have a 3-month outreach to the community you're around with, via especially via radio, kind of to introduce that there's this service now in this city. Now, after that, most of the marketing would be done through SEO and kind of a digital marketing, more like inbound rather than outbound marketing. So that marketing budget there was actually for our partner locations. Now, that's not to say that they can do their own marketing, but that's an option that we give them, that we'll do marketing for you, because once we do it on scale, we will be much more effective doing it for them than them doing it for themselves, because we know what kind of messages work. We buy in bulk, even let's say radio advertisement. If you buy in a few cities from the same provider, you get discounts and stuff like this. Does that kind of answer your question?
Well, right. Well, so where I'm getting at with this is, because I was trying to make sense of that. So it sounds like if someone wants to build this business for you, if someone wants to partner with you, let's say in Orlando, that you're going to pay the front end costs basically for them to do all of this, and then they can either succeed or fail in Orlando. And it doesn't seem to be like a